Welcome into Bombers Live. I'm your host, Brendan Miller, and today we have a very, very special guest, defensive lineman for the Ithaca football team, Mr. Warren Watson II. Warren, it's an honor to have you on the show. I know that you are obviously a big figure in Ithaca athletics, being on the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. So obviously that's, big news, and we're very happy to have you on.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. And, I just want to start off real quickly with, of course, yesterday you were on Random College Athlete of the Day, that account that has, 65,000 followers. And I looked it up, and usually those pictures get 15 likes, something like that. 301 likes, 39 retweets, 8 quote tweets. That's absurd. Big number for that account.
It's good stuff.
I love it. And that's kind of where I first saw you too, was on Twitter. I know that you like to get your voice out there. So I think that's, kind of a good topic to kind of jump off on with social media and athletes and how do you think athletes can kind of use social media not to their advantage, really? Because I think that it's a great tool.
Well, absolutely. First off, it's a gift and a curse, right? Social media is a big role player in terms of, culture. I know we use social media a lot in terms of recruiting guys and getting our stuff out there in terms of stats, different events that we're involved in and stuff like that. So social media is a huge, huge, huge tool that you can use. For those high school athletes out there for recruiting, Twitter is real big for that. I know it was big for me when I was in high school. But, just getting things out there to the public to see, especially Twitter. Twitter is my favorite because you only have but so many characters you can use. But, just using your social media for, the better, using it in a positive way, promoting your school, yourself, and your team in a positive aspect, in a positive way, in a positive manner, and those things go a long way for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously you mentioned Twitter can be, positives and negatives as far as that stuff kind of goes. Let's talk a little bit about football. Obviously that's why you're here,
Sure.
as a football player. And of course I had to go out and look at your huddle tape because, in preparation for this, I got to do my research too. I saw some great moves there on the huddle. What's your go-to on the D line? Getting past an offensive lineman. You got the rip and swim. I saw some spin moves breaking out too.
Yes, sir. Spin moves a no-no, especially now, with Coach Swint and stuff like that. Spin moves a big no-no. But my favorite move personally is a push-pull. D-line play is all about deception, all about playing with the offensive lineman's weight, and things of that nature. So for me, I just love the bull rush. And then right when they lean forward because they feel that bull rush coming, I love just pulling them down and bringing that arm over top. It works every single time.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to really play with that weight of that offensive lineman and get him moving one way and back into another direction, it's huge, man. Offensive linemen don't like to move, and I love making them move.
Yeah, I love that. And it is. It's like it's a mental game too, where
Absolutely, 100%.
where they're trying to guess what you're going to do next, and of course you're trying to outsmart them. When you talk about the mental game too, obviously when you're going along with football, and this is going to be a little bit personal to you. Last season you started the year off pretty well, and then obviously had an injury that effectively ended your year. So you want to talk about a little bit of that? The effect of mental health on being able to get through an injury like that, something that makes you sit out for the duration of the year in the sport that you love.
Yeah, for sure. It was tough. That's if I could put it into one word, I'd probably say that it was tough. That's what I can describe it as. Putting that body of work in that off season, leading up to my sophomore year, wasn't really expecting, to start right out of the gate coming into my sophomore year, but that body of work that I put in was really, really, really important in that summertime, and going through my adversities throughout camp, me, not playing as well as I thought I could play, to then me picking it up by the time the season rolled around and then winning the starting job, that was everything I've hoped and dreamed of, like back when I was making the decision to play in college, that was when I was, dreaming. I had dreams, because I was trying to figure out what school to pick. I had dreams of, playing on Saturdays at Butterfield, and I've had dreams of taking the field, with my brothers every single Saturday, so that really meant a lot to me, going into the season. And it was an honor to play those first couple games that I did play with that group of guys, real special group of guys there. But just getting hurt, it just sucked. I kind of feel like I have a lot of unfinished business. I'm about to be a senior and I haven't really played that much college ball yet. So my body's primarily fresh, which is amazing. But I wouldn't trade it for the world if I'm being honest, right? Because it's definitely molded me and shaped me into something that I never thought that I could be mentally. I've always had that kind of underdog mentality. And with this injury, man, and just seeing, where I've had to come from and what I've been through, to the type of person that I'm starting to become now, it's just something special. And I can't wait for the fall, man. I can't wait. Got a lot of unfinished business to take care of.
Absolutely. And I love that, where, you see something as far as adversity come up and being able to use that to your advantage, coming in and thinking about the next season. And that's awesome. And I'm really happy that you were able to, get the most out of what is obviously, a tough situation to be put in.
For sure.
So let's talk about a little bit about, because obviously you have a big role at Ithaca here in the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I just want to read you this quote here first, because I think that, going through your Untold Athletes and story that was written and looking at some of the stuff that has been said about you, I think that this was a really great quote, and it buys into the athletics part and the leadership part as well. So I'm just going to read this real quick. And this is a quote from Associate Athletic Director of Athletics, Erin Roberts. She says, "In addition to his willingness to be a leader, Warren has great desire to bring people together around a common goal. He connects with a variety of individuals authentically and with care." She then said, "He's driven in a way like I haven't seen before. It was clear in his personal statement for the application that he understands this work isn't easy, but it's necessary, and he's willing and grateful to be called to the head." So I think that speaks a lot to, your ability as a leader, both on the field and off the field. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, being a representative for the school?
It means a lot, just to start off, talking about national sack for the first time in Ithaca history. You've actually had a seat at the table, per se, which is phenomenal for our school. It's phenomenal for our athletic body. But in terms of being a leader on and off the field, man, it's something that I feel like I was born with, if you will. I feel like I've always been, the type of person that leads people and that leads men, whether that be in football and in life in general. I'm a lover, in my purest form, and I'm all about bringing people together. You know what I mean? So whether that be through my body of work that I put in on the field or the body of work that I put in life, that's something that I really, really, really take pride in. And that's something that I really, really pride myself on, so it's something that's always come natural to me, but obviously, it's taken years and years and years of hard work and dedication to this game. It's taken years.
Yeah, I think we lost Warren there for a second. So see if we can get him back. But it was a really great interview. I think some of the things he talked about as far as, being a leader on and off the field, obviously very important. Let's see. I think we almost got him back. Yes? No? Take.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you back, Warren. If you want to just continue on that point, you're talking about being a leader on and off the field, and I think one of the most important things you said there was sure. You're a lover, and I love that quote because I think that's very important to being able to bring people together.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm all about bringing people together and connecting with people deeper than just what we're interacting with each other. In whatever environment we are, I'm more concerned about getting to know the person deeper than the surface. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, I've always been a person that's been a leader. I've always been a person that, has taken the time out to get to know, my peers, and I think that's certainly paid off, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think that, when you get to know some of the people that you're around, and obviously your teammates, they come from different places, different areas. And I think that's a good point where we can transition to a little bit about athletics' role and athletes specifically, their role in creating change, whether that be culturally, as we've seen a lot over the last year and a half, But I think that you would have some good opinions on that. So I'd love to ask you about an athlete's role in creating change.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I think this is a great platform, excuse me, that I can use, my words to speak on, right? Like, there's so many people that want to play in college sports in general, right? It doesn't matter what sport. And quite frankly, not everyone gets the opportunity to play in college, especially football. You know what I mean? Like, even though Division 3
Yep.
is, pretty big division or whatever, but not a lot of individuals that want to play in college necessarily get the opportunity to, right? So I don't take that for granted at all. Every single day, I'm thankful that I'm healthy now. Like I said before, like I'm thankful that I'm healthy, but I'm also thankful that I have, what I'm saying, a voice, and I have
Hmm.
a following, if you will, and I'm someone that people will listen to. You know what I mean? And a lot of individuals don't understand the influence that they have as athletes, man, and that's a shame. That's something that I really feel like needs to change, because what you say and what you do, regardless of if you like it or not, has an influence on someone. We talk about that in Leadership Academy all the time. Leadership is influence. So for me, going through what's been happening this past year and a half, it's been rough, to say the least, right? It's been rough, and definitely been some, identity issues within myself. Definitely been going back to the drawing board in terms of what I can do within myself, to eliminate some of the behavior that's been going on within this country, and what I can do to influence others to eliminate some of that behavior. So I really just think it starts with understanding the role that you have as a student athlete. Like, we're college football players, right? Like, all the kids in high school, everyone who's not playing, everyone who's played already, the eyes are on us. You know what I mean? So what you say and what you do really matters. So be careful what you say and be careful what you do, for sure.
Yeah, it's that concept of being a role model, right? Where, everyone is looking at you,
Absolutely.
not just because you're a football player, but you're a football player at a college. And obviously, it takes a lot of work to be able to get there and to be able to play at that level. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, it's not easy to get onto a D3 football team. So tell me a little about your work ethic
It's not.
and your ability to play.
I mean, it all started in 7th and 8th grade. That was my first year of organized football. Early on in the process, I really didn't play much, which kind of sucked. But you know, I crossed my eyes, I crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and I just trusted the process, and came 8th grade, ended up getting to understand the game a little bit more, ended up playing, and then boom, hit high school, freshman year. You know what I mean? So everything that I've been doing up to this point is to set myself up for the future. So in high school, it was working as hard as I possibly can to use football to get some kind of scholarship. You know what I mean? So in the classroom and on the field, I was always working as hard as I possibly could, because my parents couldn't pay for college. It's that simple, so I wouldn't have been able to get into college unless I got some kind of financial assistance. So with me being able to take care of business in the classroom and on the field, I'm here today. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of work, a lot of long nights, a lot of sleepless nights wondering, about where I was going to go in the fall, because every kid wants to go D1, right? Every kid wants to
Of
play
course.
Division 1 football, and every kid knocks Division 3. Division 3 isn't as good as Division 1 or Division 2. But as I came to understand early on from playing here, that that's not the case at all. Being able to play in college is a blessing. Being able to strap up those helmets and shoulder pads and those cleats every single day, whether it be for runs or practice or lift, whatever it might be, it's truly a blessing. You know what I mean? And some programs are better than others in terms of culture and that kind of thing. But definitely something that I will never forget for the rest of my life, for sure.
Yeah, you talk about academics a little bit there. I just want to touch on that too, because you're a computer science major, right? Which is obviously a little bit different than
Yes,
a lot.
sir.
Yeah, a little bit different than a lot of the athletes here at IC, whether they be here in the Park School with me or over in the business school. But being a computer science major, that takes a lot of work. So what's the balance like between that and playing football?
Well, it's tough. I mean, that's another one of those things, right? It's tough. I mean, just the workload is different. The thought process, the critical thinking is different. Um, it's just different. It's definitely not your traditional education per se. but I'm not a traditional guy. I'm not an average guy in any means, so I definitely invite that challenge every single day, and it's something that I truly enjoy, if I'm being honest. I think that um, computer science, that field in general, is one that is needed, and it's in great demand, and not a lot of people want to do that kind of work. You know what I mean? And plus, you get paid pretty well, if you know what I mean. So that's pretty nice too. But just the need for it, right? Like, I've always been a technology guy growing up. I've always been hands on with the latest technology, whether it be like, growing up with the PlayStations and Xboxes or the iPhones or the iPods, whatever new piece of technology was out, I needed to get my hands on it. I was very hands on with interacting with that technology, So, computer science for me, it was kind of a no brainer, you know. Um, but yeah, man, it's difficult. That, to say the least, is difficult. Just like the labs that we have to do, the projects and programs that we have to write. It's just a whole nother level of thinking, But I wouldn't trade it for the world, though. Definitely keeps me sharp. Definitely keeps me sharp.
Hey, you know what they say? If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right? And obviously, the paycheck that comes with that is a little bit of a bonus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, hey, we appreciate you coming on. That's all the time we got for you today. But obviously, everyone here, myself included, wishes you good luck going forward into next year. We hope you get, just as much playing time as you were at the beginning of the year last year as well.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Roll Bombers.
Go Roll Bombers. That's the best way to end the show right there. We'd like to say thank you for tuning in to this episode of Bombers Live. Of course, I've been Brendan Miller. That was Warren Watson. And if you want to check us out at ICTV Sports on Twitter. I'd like to say thank you, of course, to all of our producers behind the scenes, everyone who helped make the show happen. And that'll be it. That'll be it from us here at Bombers Live. I've been Brendan Miller. Thank you for tuning in.